Hey, it's Deborah from Create with Compassion. I am a Fun Stampers Journey independent coach. Today I wanted to share with you this fun and quick, easy, beautiful, vintagey kind of anniversary card. So let's create with compassion. Let's take a quick peek at the Fun Stampers Journey products used to create this card. I just fell in love with this little couple riding on the bike, and that comes from the Just Married AT set. AT stands for Artist Trading Set, and you can find all of the Fun Stampers Journey ATS sets back on the index, page 330 to 331. Did you know that you can earn free AT sets with every purchase or party that is over $150 or more before shipping and tax? You also earn Journey dollars. And I also used this awesome host exclusive item called Occasion Minis that you can get at a great price of $4.95 with your order or party that's over $150. Now this includes 3 different dies, and they're about 3 inches wide. And for this card I'm going to use the heart die. So let me show you. Here we have the heart die, and there's also a little banner here and a little star. Aren't they just too cute for words? So you get great value from Fun Stampers Journey with your large orders or parties. Not to mention you also earn Bloom benefits with any order that is over $50 before shipping and tax. So that's the first 2 items that we're going to be using. I'm also using the Journey Ovals die set that has the piercing element included. I'm using the Spring Botanicals stamp set that is in the New Bloom This Way mini. It has some gorgeous flowers, but I'll be using this smaller one and that one and this little sprig. Now you can purchase this as a bundle with the coordinating die set and save 10%, or purchase it separately. I needed an anniversary card, but I don't have a happy anniversary stamp set, so I looked through my stash and found Hey Honey, and I like this sentiment here: life is the flower for which love is the honey, Victor Hugo. So I'm going to put that on the inside of my card. Now let's talk paper. My card base is black licorice, and it's just a 4 1/4 piece by 11 inches. And I'll fold that in half and burnish that with my crease tool. Go ahead and set that aside. I've got 2 pieces of whipped cream that are 4 by 5 1/4, a piece of black licorice that is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and this is for my die cutting. I've got another piece of whipped cream that is 3 1/2 by 2 3/4, and that's going to be for this piece. And then I'm using a 3 1/2 by 1 1/4 piece of pomegranate splash to add this pop of color here with my heart banner. I'm going to bring in one of my panels and that beautiful rose kind of flower. Let's get that inked up, and this is going to be my inside panel. So I'm just going to ink that flower up. I always put the lid back on so I don't accidentally put anything in the ink or get it on my hands and make a mess. I'm going to stamp that flower in the bottom left hand corner. I'm going to set that aside and bring in my other panel and do some random stamping. So we're going to ink up this flower. It's the largest that I'm going to be using. We're just going to stamp this randomly on this panel. So I've got one in the kind of upper left, and put one kind of there. There's really no right or wrong way to random stamp. And my little people are going to be kind of down in the middle, but the kind of lower middle. But I do want some of the images to kind of come out from behind them. I'll put another one up there. Set that aside for now. I might add more later. Now I've got the smaller flower. Ink that up with the black licorice True Color Fusion ink. And let's add that around. Just randomly gonna fill in some places here. Woo. And the fun thing about random stamping is you're not going to have creations that look exactly the same. If you wanted to mass produce this card, you could random stamp a full sheet of whipped cream paper and then trim it down. You would get 4 panels out of that, so that would save you a little bit of time. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and bring in this sprig and add some of that around. I want one there. I want it kind of coming out there. I like the look of this black and white card. I find it very kind of classy looking, and I think it has kind of a vintagey feel to it. So I'm thinking that's looking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And I'm going to bring in my sentiment. Life is the flower for which love is the honey. Bring in my inside panel. Ink this up with black licorice. And you could probably stamp it with a pomegranate splash if you wanted to. That'd be a nice pop of color for the inside, but I'm just going to keep with the black and white. Move that out of the way. Bring in our small piece of whipped cream for the little people. This stamp is not indexed like these others. It's one of their older ones and that they are phasing out. So I'm going to kind of put it on the block the way I know it needs to be stamped. These wheels need to be kind of straight so that they're writing on the ground, not, you know, like that. So I'm just gonna lay my stamp the way I know it needs to be and put my block on it. That way when I'm holding it and I stamp it down, it'll be a natural position and I'll have it in the right angle and position that I want. So I've got them inked up with the black licorice, and I'm just going to stamp that in the middle of my whipped cream paper. I'm going to move this over. I did this the last time I stamped it, and I'm not going to trim this out of the video so you can see it, so I'm going to turn that over. Nice thing about cardstock, you got 2 sides. Whenever you're stamping this image, you don't want to just put pressure here in the middle. Don't forget about this little wheel down here or her flag. Make sure that the entire stamp gets some pressure so that you get a good image there. Now it's time to do some die cutting. So let's bring in our platform for the Journey Platinum. And I like to, whenever it starts to bubble up, I flip it over, and that helps this bottom piece stay flat. So I've got my black licorice here, and I'm going to use the largest oval. And I've got this over here on the magnetic side. I'm going to use the largest oval and the piercing element. So and I have this piercing element so that it's got about an equal amount of distance between it and that die. Then I'm going to put my little people here, and I have the second largest oval. I'm going to place that on and just maneuver this around. Now the blade on this is right at this inside edge, so when I put it on, I know this inside part is going to cut. Got the pomegranate splash in the heart die, and just put that on there, which I actually preferred to do this one. See, it's popping to those magnets. I actually like to do this one straight up and down like that. So I'm going to take this over to my Journey Platinum, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we've got our little couple here traveling through life together cut out. And we've got our heart. That just came out so easy and quick there. And our oval here. I just like to run my thumbnail along those dots. It gets most of them. There's a variety of ways that you can deal with these dots, but this is just how I do it. Some people run it through on top of some dryer sheets or use wax paper. So I get all of the ones that aren't too stubborn out with my thumbnail. Take that die off. Then I just use the piercing part of the boom tool to just pop that out, which I actually find this kind of relaxing and fun. I love that little popping noise. So we've got all of those out. Move all this out of the way. Before we begin putting our card together, I'm just going to kind of see if I want to add any more of the stamping here. If I put my card, my black licorice piece here, this kind of looks empty to me. If I turn it around, let's see if I like that better. It does look a little better, but to me over here is kind of empty. So I'm just going to add a couple more stamps here with that. So I'm going to bring in the sprig, and I'm just going to kind of put a little sprig there. And well, that didn't really do much help, did it? So let's try that again. And the nice thing is this is going to be covered, so that's not going to be noticeable. And I'm also going to, I think, add a little bit of a flower there. And there. That looks good. I actually think I want to add a little more of a sprig up here. Maybe down there. Alright, I think we're good with that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in one of these sponges. And I'm going to sponge the edges of all of my white cardstock. Just a quick tap tap and a quick swipe swipe along all four sides. Once you have that done, it's time to put this card together. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this piece. I've got some Journey Blooms tape runner here. Just going to add a little bit. Center 3 sides, and then I'll know that the 4th side is going to look pretty good. And we have this piece, which on this card I popped that up, but for this card I'm going to leave it flat on my card base, and I think I'll pop up just the oval on this card. And if I remember correctly, I want it this way, like that. Make sure centered up there. There we go. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some tape runner on the back of my oval here. Center this. And then let's get some foam squares. I just have the small ones. I'll be getting the medium size soon, but as of today they are on back order. They are just so awesome. Lots of people want them. I think I'm going to throw one in the middle just so the middle doesn't sink in. So let's get these off. And kind of center that kind of down near the bottom. Oh my goodness. I just noticed how uncentered that is. See if I can fix that real quickly. That's a little bit better. And then for my hearts, what I'm going to use are some glue dots. I'm going to use some Journey glue dots. Just put one on the large heart. Take this off. And let's place it up over here. Use my scissors. I'm just gonna kind of trim that a little bit. And there's the, well, I think I'm gonna trim this right along that white piece. Even though it's layered flat on the card, I can kind of still get my scissors there. There we go. That's better. So that is the creation. You can kind of see the difference with this popped up. You don't notice the white piercing element as much. So I don't know. They are both nice and pretty. Just kind of depends on what look you're going for. So thank you so much for joining me for the creation of this beautiful vintagey inspired anniversary card. Have a great day.